Although the master quickly pulled the dog away, it managed to yank a chunk of the girl's hair out. According to the master, this wasn't the first time the dog had injured someone. It had been sent to a police dog training school, but instead of improving, it had bitten the trainer as well. Even the master himself had his thumb bitten off during feeding, and only timely medical attention saved his finger. Upon returning home from the hospital, he had wanted to punish the dog, but before he could even raise a hand, just a few loud reprimands caused the dog to collapse, trembling uncontrollably. The dog's name is Kappa, and it's 2.5 years old. It resembles the Korean Jindo dog, but is actually a more ancient breed, the Gyeongju Tokyo dog. Compared to the Jindo, the Tokyo dog has a broader chest, making it stronger and fiercer. Additionally, Tokyo dogs naturally dock their tails, which aids in hunting. Kappa perfectly embodies all the traits of this breed, making it a significant safety hazard when kept in the city. Despite this, the master is unwilling to give up on Kappa. He has restrained himself from petting the dog during meals, but accidents still occurred. When friends visited, even from a distance, Kappa attacked and bit their hands. To this day, the marks of those bites are still visible. The production team speculated that Kappa's biting might be related to hands, so they decided to conduct an experiment. First, they had the master put a muzzle on Kappa, then a girl, protected, extended her hand, and gave Kappa commands. To everyone's surprise, Kappa cooperated well. When the girl handed over a snack with her hand, Kappa remained gentle. But as soon as the girl tried to pat the dog's head, the situation spiraled out of control. What was unexpected was that Kappa didn't bite the hand, but instead bit the head, even managing to pull out some hair through the muzzle. After this experiment, the master thought the dog might bite out of food guarding. The production team, having learned from this, conducted a second experiment with a better quality muzzle. That prevented Kappa from biting through it and maintained a safe distance of about 2 meters, enclosing the staff with a wire mesh. The staff fed Kappa using a stick with a glove on it, without direct hand contact. Kappa seemed visibly angry, growling continuously, and even before the snack was offered, it charged forward. Slow-motion replay showed that Kappa's target was the hand, not the snack, which disproved the food guarding theory. What was stranger was that after the attack, Kappa shook itself, and its eyes showed no more hostility. The production team then had the master join the experiment. As he approached Kappa with a snack, the dog began to growl, its fur standing on end. Despite this, when the master commanded Kappa to sit, it obeyed, albeit avoiding the master's gaze. But when the master tried to praise Kappa, it jumped up and pushed the master away. Fortunately, the master was wearing thick clothes, or it would have been another serious incident. Trainer Kang concluded that the master couldn't control the excited Kappa. 2 years ago, the master had gotten the dog because he lived alone and was lonely, and also because he suffered from various chronic illnesses. He thought the dog could increase his exercise and improve his health. In fact, it did. To him, the dog had saved him, and was his only family. But as the dog's biting issues grew more severe, the master researched many solutions, and even inquired about euthanasia, yet he couldn't bear to part with the dog. This time, seeking help from the production team was his last hope to know if there was any possibility of improvement for Kappa. Hearing this, the production team felt heavy-hearted. Trainer Kang explained that Kappa's habits were more akin to those of a wolf than a dog, living as they did 2,000 years ago. He reminded the guests to prioritize safety when meeting Kappa. Thus, the guests arrived at the master's home. As soon as they entered, Kappa, though silent, stared intensely at them. Even as the guests chatted with the master on the sofa, Kappa remained vigilant, watching their every move. Suddenly, a guest produced gloves. He had the master remove the muzzle, commanded Kappa to lie down, and threw a snack to Kappa. In this scenario, Kappa remained calm, eating the snack obediently. Then, as in the second experiment, the guest offered a snack to Kappa with gloves. And as expected, Kappa began to bite the gloves. When the guest changed the angle, pushing the snack towards Kappa with the gloves, Kappa calmed down again. It seemed Kappa was sensitive about having something near its cheeks. Curious, the guest asked if Kappa would attack if the master approached its face. The master confidently shook his head. Under everyone's tense gaze, the master asked Kappa to give him a kiss. As the atmosphere grew increasingly strange, the guests voiced their concerns, all fearing the dog might suddenly bite the master. The guests hurriedly retreated to the studio, sharing their findings with Trainer Kang. 1. Kappa disliked being touched on the cheeks. 2. The master, despite lacking crisis awareness, could still control Kappa normally, even changing the muzzle by himself. As for whether Kappa could improve, that would depend on the judgment of professional dog trainers. So, Trainer Kang set out, and just like before, Kappa didn't bark at all. Even when strangers passed by, Kappa remained very quiet, just constantly watching Trainer Kang. Yet, Trainer Kang noticed an issue. Kappa was breathing heavily, and seemed unable to sit down, appearing very excited, like a wolf. Tokyo dogs place great importance on hierarchy. Recalling Kappa's behavior, it obeyed the owner's commands, but all its actions were hesitant. If it were another dog, hearing a command would immediately sit, but Kappa hesitated before doing so, indicating it was always in a state of nervous vigilance, observing the owner's movements, ready to act. This behavior pattern isn't an educational issue, but is genetically determined. Like Shiba Inus, they have strong aggression, poor socialization, and constantly test the owner's limits, all traits more akin to wolves. To further observe Kappa's degree of wolf-like behavior, Trainer Kang had the owner put a muzzle on the dog. Surprisingly, despite disliking things near its cheeks, Kappa endured the process of wearing the muzzle.
가봐. 또 왔다 갔다 먼저 움직이고.
After a few rounds, Trainer Kang deemed Kappa's mental state quite stable, with relatively good command compliance. When he brought out a classic prop, Kappa tensed up. As he stroked the dog with the prop, Kappa began to growl, and soon it launched an attack.
가만히 있으세요.
But Trainer Kang remained calm, continuing to stroke its cheeks with the gloves. Gradually, Kappa's resistance weakened. Then, taking the leash from the owner's hand, he continued to provoke Kappa with the gloves, causing it to erupt with intense aggression, even more so than when it was with the owner. Trainer Kang stated that taming Kappa was simple. It was about establishing the hierarchy. He led Kappa to the balcony area, intentionally knocking over a wire mesh, startling it. Trainer Kang entered the balcony, ignoring Kappa's resistance, dragging it into the balcony. Before the dog could react, Trainer Kang led Kappa back, taking it around the sofa, then stepping onto the sofa, leading Kappa back to the balcony. There, he stroked its face with the gloves, and Kappa was unusually quiet, not even growling. The sofa and balcony were places the dog wasn't usually allowed, and Trainer Kang's ability to move freely in these areas was to show Kappa he was a high authority. After this series of training, Kappa underwent a significant transformation, nudging affectionately against the gloves, completely different from before. Trainer Kang believed that with continued training, Kappa would gradually improve, but the owner still needed to maintain vigilance, stabilizing his position in Kappa's mind, and preventing strangers from casually approaching the dog. In fact, without this owner, Kappa would likely have faced euthanasia. But after understanding the mutual salvation between Kappa and the owner, even Trainer Kang found it hard to be heartless, and asked the owner to give up on Kappa.
내 잘리도 그건 내 운명이니까.
The owner was in tears, and Trainer Kang was deeply moved, believing that before seeking help, the owner must have struggled a lot. What he needed wasn't persuasion, but assistance.
제가 감동받은 것 같아요. 제가 그냥 보호자님한테 감동받았고, 맞아, 이제 훈련사가 이런 역할이지, 에너지를 좀 받았다고 해야 되나? 그런 마음을 좀 많이.
This episode concludes here. This is Animal Connoisseur. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed it.